the gold and press the gold and yen baskets. I beg your pardon, right? So you share the link everywhere, spread the news, and we'll be heading straight with the analysis for today. So I believe that we're still in the process of sharing the link with everyone on our various social media platforms. So we just head straight through the chart. For the XY on our monthly time frame, price has been bullish, right? And all of these sales were just retracement to grab its liquidity residing below. But since the month started yesterday, we can see that the open of this candle was actually kind of bullish. And for our weekly time frame, you can see that this low has actually been taken out, and this is just some sort of a retracement to the downside for price to take out this low, July 2023 low, right? So we may see price taking out this low. The high on GU for July 2023 has already been taken out, but we can see that the low for July 2023 is yet to be taken out on the XY for a 4-hour time frame, right? Rather, for our daily time frame, I beg your pardon, we have some point of interest that we want to see price trading into before we continue our sales on the XY. There's a fair value gap here, and if I will be calling out the price point verbatim, right? Once price gets to 102.164, we can start warming up to ride our sales all the way to the downside. Right, this is the daily time frame. So over time, once price gets into this level and we see some further push to this other block on our daily time frame, we will be getting ready to continue our sales on the XY. Right, so my outlook long term into the rest of this week is a buy into our point of interest, right? This fair value gap first, and subsequently into this other block. So we are buying to sell on our daily time frame, and for our time frame too, we'll be fibbing this entire swing from point A to point B. Right, you can see that our point of interest that we have already marked from our daily time frame actually coincides with 61.8% fib level. So once we see a push into 61.8% fib level on on our 4-hour time frame, we can actually be getting ready to ride ourselves all the way to the downside. So my outlook for today is a buy into our point of interest, still a journey all the way to the upside. So we want to buy to sell on the XY. And down to our correlated peers for G on a monthly time frame, we're still maintaining our bias, right? Price is still bearish on our monthly time frame and for our weekly time frame. For our weekly time frame, right, we can see that this high, July 2023 high, has already been taken out, and what we're seeing right now is some sort of a retracement for us to ride it into our point of interest, which is this other block residing here. For our daily time frame too, right, we said that we wanted to see price retracing into this high. That's what I have been saying for my own sessions. I wanted to see price retracing into this high, and then G will continue its buy to the upside. But for today, I really want to see price coming into some discount level, at least into 61.8% fib level before continuing my buy all the way to the upside. So I still want to see more push, at least to 61.8% fib level. This is our daily time frame. So it might not happen in a day, but into the rest of this week, there should be some push to the downside before we see price turning all the way to the upside. And for our 4-hour time frame, we can actually see that this low has been taken out, and this buy that we're seeing is just some sort of a retracement into our point of interest. And where's my point of interest? There's a fair value gap here. If I'll be pointing out the price point, I want to see price getting into one spot, 33546, before I continue my sell on GBP USD. From what we said on our daily time frame, we want to see price coming into some discount level, 61.8% level, before we continue our buys to the upside. And to catch the retracement happening on our daily time frame, we have seen a break of structure on our 4-hour time frame. This low being taken out and a fair value gap residing here. So I want to see price coming into this fair value gap on our 4-hour time frame before I continue and ride my sales all the way into 61.8% fill level on our daily time frame. So we're looking out to sell GBP USD, wait for price to get to a premium level, right? We want to see price trading into this fair value gap before riding our sales all the way to the downside. And if I'll be pointing out the price point again, going to be one spot 33546. Once you see price getting there, we can start looking out for our entries and taking the sales on GBP USD. Last on my list will be Euro USD on our monthly time frame rather, still maintaining itself to the downside. And for our weekly time frame too, you can see that price is still struggling to take out this high, the July 2023 high. Right, so price just traded into it and is struggling to break the high, just reacting of it for our weekly time frame. And for our daily time frame, same thing. Right, we're actually looking for price to take out this high on our daily time frame. This high has already been taken out on GBP USD, but we keep seeing price struggling to take out this high on Euro USD. And for our 4-hour time frame too, right, I am more interested in selling. I want to sell Euro USD on a 4-hour time frame. And I have some points of interest, right? My first point of interest is this fair value gap residing right here. And my second point of interest is another fair value gap residing here, right here. And there's even another block here too. So I'd want to take my sales when I see my first sell when I see price retracing into one spot 10924. But if I get stopped out and price keeps trading to the upside, then I know that price wants to come for this other fair value gap residing here, which is one spot 11222. So if I get stopped out when I take the sell, when I see price coming into here, then I'll be warming up to pull the trigger to take another sell when I see price trading into this level, right? So I'm looking out to sell Euro USD, sell GBP USD, and buy the XY, right? They're actually short term, just trying to catch retracement on the higher time frames for GBP USD, and same thing for the XY, right? So, although my direction on them is not so clear, but this is my outlook for today. Long term, we know that GBP USD is still bearish on our daily time frame, right? So I am actually selling the retracement on our daily time frame for GBP USD, right? I didn't say throughout this week. This is just my outlook for today. Anything can actually happen before the week runs out, right? So this is just my outlook for today. Right. So please, if you have questions, can you kindly type them in the chat box? Or if you have a different bias, you can type them in the chat box. Thank you very much, Bola, for your kind words. If you don't have questions, we'll be going on a brief break and we'll be having CJ right after that, analyzing gold and the yen basket. Enjoy your trading day. Cheers and God bless.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the market color for today. And in this session, we're going to be looking at gold against the dollar, the yen basket, and a few other yen related pairs. All right, so we're going to be starting off with the analysis on the yen basket. Sorry, on the gold against the dollar. Now, if you're looking at gold from where it currently is, it has formed a new all-time high at around 2,600 price point. And we're expecting to see gold give us some retracement after creating this new all-time high around 2,686. Now I'm expecting a retracement all the way to this level right here. Okay, so this is where I'm expecting gold to retrace to. And for this to play out as we wanted, we usually want to get confirmation on retracement from the 4-hour time frame. So this is the 4-hour time frame where we get confirmation. And then, having seen that gold has already broken this minor structure right here on the 4-hour time frame, it looks very clear that we'll be heading further downwards on gold against the dollar. Now, this is where the break of structure happened, and there was a retracement back here. Now, I'm expecting gold to continuously sell all the way to this level. Now, with regards to the price points for gold, seeing all the events that are happening, uncertainties, spread of fear, and lack of clarity on direction in the market, especially with regards to major currency pairs, especially I'm talking about the dollar. I'm expecting to see gold rally again, possibly towards the end of the year, all the way to 2,750. That is the new price point we're looking at. The last time we were looking at the price point related to all these news was when gold was around 2002, 2003, and we said it was going to rally all the way to 2,500. Now it has gotten to 2,500 price points, retraced, and now we're headed to 2,750. So for me, I would want to take shots on gold all the way to this level, and then I'll be willing to take further long positions all the way to the upside, supposing everything remains very quiet towards this period until the rally resumes. But if everything is not looking quiet at this period, we might see it rally, continuously rally from where it currently is at the moment. But however, looking at price action at the moment, I think it would be safe to say we would like to see gold retrace here and then head to 2,750. Okay, also if you draw a fib around this level, seeing this as the obvious swing on the daily time frame, you see that let's switch to the daily time frame. Okay, so you see that this level right here is a very discounted price point for gold, which is around 2,600. So for me, even if I were buying physical gold, I would want to wait for a discount in the price before going long again on gold. So 2,600 would be a very good place. It's a quarter mark. It's also there's also a fair value gap around it. And then on the fib tool, this is around 61.8, showing that it is clearly a discounted level. So seeing gold around this place is going to excite me a lot, and I would want to see how it's going to trade off from there. So for me, from 4-hour time frame, I'm already looking forward to shorts on gold. And then on the 1-hour time frame, there has been short opportunities on gold presenting themselves since last week. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so there's been short opportunities presenting themselves on gold since last week. Now gold has already taken out this high, which was serving as an inducement, and then we are seeing further signs of short positions to be taken on gold. Currently, with what price is doing, I would like to see gold around this level right here, because there's a fair value gap right there and an old low which is serving like a mitigation block around that same level. So I would want to see gold trade into this level, and then I'll look for short positions from there. So this is the fair value gap. So I would want to see gold trade into this level right here, and then I'll be willing to take further shots on gold. So for me, my bias today on gold is a sell, and one of the places I would want to take my sales from is somewhere around this place that I've marked out right here. Okay, so I hope this is clear, and I hope it gives you a very direct bias on gold. Now let's move over to the yen basket quickly. Last week we had the election for the Japanese prime ministerial position. Then we had Ichiba taking the lead over Taikachi. Don't worry about all those names. It's not going to directly influence your trade. So the person who lost was okay. So the person who lost the election was directly against interest rate hike. So when we are seeing how taking the lead in the election or in the polls, it sounded like we are going to have some bad news for the yen at the moment. But the new prime minister or the prime minister elect, which is Ichiba, that later won, he's more he's more open to interest rate increase and anything that is going to boost the economy generally, regardless of what is going to cost in the long term. But they just want to see boosting the economy and kind of a vote of confidence from their parliament. So for that reason, when we start seeing the yen, when we start seeing hike in the yen, or when we start seeing spikes in the yen to the upside, we can directly know what is the reason for that. So this is the period when the election was announced, and you can see that strong hike to the upside. Now, as we know, for all economies or for all major economies, when elections like this, very important positions like this are taken, we usually want to wait for a while, for about maybe 1 month, 2 months, to be able to see the body language, the speeches, the conferences, the minutes that are going to be read based on the new policies that will be implemented. Now, the person that won for the for the prime ministerial position is looking like he would want to do things that is going to make the yen stronger. And for that reason, we'll be seeing a stronger yen during this period, unless the body language changes. So for me, I'll be looking forward to seeing further bullish positions or bullish runs on the Japanese yen basket. And that is directly going to imply that we'll be seeing further sells on GBP JPY, Euro JPY, US JPY, CHF JPY, and all the other Japanese yen related currencies. So hence we saw that spike after price took out this seemingly equal lows right here. After it took out this low, we're seeing that spike back to the upside. I am looking at seeing the yen basket continuously trade all the way to the upside to grab all this liquidity residing here. First off, the diagonal liquidity on the hourly time frame, and then this old highs on the daily time frame. So these are the levels I'm expecting the Japanese yen basket to trade into going forward. So we might see these longs or these bullish runs continue on the Japanese yen basket. Okay. So for the yen, this is what we're expecting. Further longs on the yen. Now, if you're looking at it on intraday basis, 1 hour time frame, we'll see that the yen has clearly gone ahead to break structure. Let's also take a look at what 4 hour time frame is doing. You can see that the last obvious structure of the 4 hour time frame has been broken. Here it is. This is the last obvious structure. Lower high, lower low. It has been broken. Price has returned into this fair value gap. We might see resumption for buys to the upside. Like I said earlier, there are diagonal liquidities residing all the way here. So we might see the yen basket going for all these liquidities residing here. These liquidities are definitely reflecting liquidities that reside on yen pairs, GBP JPY, USD JPY, and the likes. So big on seeing a bullish yen basket. But like I said, we would need to be patient a little while all of this is happening so that we would be able to clearly digest the new policies that are going to be implemented by the new government at hand. So that is that for the yen basket. Now let's go over to USD JPY. Okay, so looking at USD JPY, we can see how that is playing out so far. USD JPY has been dropping from an all-time high of 162 per dollar, and we're seeing it already at 144 per dollar, kind of below the price point that they set earlier. They said they wanted to see it below 150, and they have achieved that. That's the previous government. This new government currently may also come up with such policies that is going to keep the dollar against the Japanese yen on a very discounted level. So we might see further sell-offs of USD and all these are going to be happening pending the US elections that are going to be coming up next month, in the month of November. So we want to also see what is going to be the body language of the new US government, because it's very clear we're going to have a new government. We're having Kamala Harris against Donald Trump, two totally new people that I'm talking of, compared to the previous president who dropped out of the race. So we want to see what policies are they going to have, what are they going to be coming up with regards to the economic policies, foreign policies, and the likes, and we'll know how to position ourselves in the long term, looking at the dollar and foreign currencies, starting off with the Japanese yen. So for USDJPY at this moment, we'll be looking forward to short positions going forward. Regardless, we might see retracements happening along the way, just like we saw last week during the runoff to the election. We saw USDJPY trade into this other block and then spiked away from it. Now we're seeing that on the 4-hour time frame, it has broken structure to the downside. This is it. This is the break of structure to the downside on the 4-hour time frame. And right now, we're seeing price returning into this fair value gap, and we might be expecting sell-offs afterwards. Now, if you look at the box pattern, you would also cite something right here where we have the left shoulder here, and then we have our sweep, a break of structure, return to the left shoulder. We'll be looking forward to selling off USDJPY all the way to the downside, and our targets are going to be all these diagonal liquidities residing right here. You can see these guys right here, and then all these previous lows residing right here. So for me, I'm looking forward to a USDJPY short all the way to the downside. Okay, so for today, we'll be looking forward to seeing clear price action that is going to show us that. For yesterday into today, we've been seeing it inside of a tight range. I'd want to see signs of a breakout from the range, and then I'll be looking to take my shot all the way to the downside. For today, we might see it take the liquidity residing right here before doing so. Okay, so we're expecting a struggle around this area, and afterwards we want to see the USDJPY shorts going forward. So this is the area I'm speaking of. So there's a struggle around here. There's one other block here. Price has tested it 3 times now, and on this third instance, I would want to see USDJPY selling off all the way to the downside. Okay, so this is my expectation on USDJPY. A sell-off from where it currently is all the way to let's look at that price point again. 141,500 or 142. Yes, 142 price points. This is where we're expecting USDJPY to sell off to 142. So sell off from 144 to 142 is going to be a very decent trade if you're able to catch that completely. So look, I advise you look forward to taking short positions on USDJPY while applying proper risk management going forward. Okay, so that's that on USDJPY. On EuroJPY, I'm expecting something very similar, but unlike USDJPY, EuroJPY went ahead to take out this liquidity residing right here. Okay, so it took out this high, but it was not able to take out this high around here. So we're seeing that as a liquidity grab or a stop hunt, and then a continuation in the original trend, which is a sell. So for EuroJPY also, I'm looking forward to short positions going forward on EuroJPY. Now let's look at the 4-hour time frame. We also saw the break of structure right here. So we saw the break of structure right here, a retest to this level, and then a continuous short to the downside. So I'm looking forward to seeing that sell-off continue for Euro JPY all the way to the downside. Okay, now on intraday basis, we've also seen another break of structure and retest from where price currently is, or maybe at least one more push to the upside. We might see Euro JPY selling off completely. So there is a fair value gap right here, which is catching my interest. If for any reason we have one more push to the upside, I would be expecting that push to stop here and then continue selling to the downside. So I'm just looking out for anything that's going to give me a clear sign of a Euro JPY sell-off, and then I'll be willing to take that shot all the way to the downside. Something interesting that I'm seeing right here now is that price has taken out this high, but has refused to close above it. So this could be a fake out, and then we might start seeing sell-off of Euro JPY from where price currently is at the moment. So we might be seeing a sell-off on Euro JPY all the way to the downside. And if we're looking at that sell, we're looking at all these other diagonal liquidity residing here. This looks very juicy for the sell-off. So you can see all this diagonal liquidity residing right here, all the way to 155 price point. So from 159 to 155 is where we're looking to sell Euro JPY to. So that's the extent we're willing to go on Euro JPY sell-off. So if you are interested in trading the Japanese yen, or you have a very strong interest in trading anything Japanese, this is going to be a very good trade if you are on board it. So you can start looking out for entry signatures on Euro JPY and USD JPY. Also on GBP JPY, you can start looking out for entry signatures around it, as they all have very similar top-down analysis. If you look at daily time frame, similar thing is happening on GBP JPY, only that we had a stronger GBP JPY last week. Now, if you're looking at the 4-hour time frame, you also see that we're having a break of structure just like we had on the others. And on the 1-hour time frame, you've seen clearly that price is willing to trade further downwards. And from this instance where it is, it could be a good place to start selling these guys all the way to the downside. So this is my bias on GBP JPY, Euro JPY, and USD JPY. And then on the yen basket, also for gold, my bias is to see a short-term sell all the way to 2,600, and then a resumption in the bullish run for gold all the way to 2,750. Okay, so these are my biases. This is my analysis for today. We'd like to know if you have any question or any commentary before we wrap up today's analysis. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, CJ Kuroda. Thank you for the very concise analysis. The USD JPY analysis, I think that's a great screen grab to have. 400 pips to the downside, especially if we see geopolitical tensions continue. That may see people run into the yen as some sort of safe haven asset alongside with gold. So that's a great play. So basically, sorry, I've not been around for a while. I picked on a new habit, and I needed to do at least 21 to 30 days so that the habit can become a real habit. It takes 21 to 30 days of you doing something consistently for your body to begin to wire it into your subconscious. So you may be seeing more of me now. With regard to our trades, with regard to analysis, the strongest sentiment I'm seeing across board over the long term is a buy on gold. And I think I told the team a while ago that the reason why is, number one, central banks adopting gold as part of their reserves. This was sanctioned by the interbank settlement body for central banks. You know, central banks have an interbank settlement system for all the central banks. All right, so they allowed banks to increase the amount of gold in their reserves, and that gave it some measure of upside. Secondly is the geopolitical tension. However, note that gold is overbought, so we'll be having pullbacks, and those pullbacks are also valid. But the overall sentiment for a bullish gold is because of what is happening in the Bank for International Settlements, BIS. All right. And that's what's giving gold that long-term bullish attraction. With regard to the US dollar, on an intraday basis, we should be seeing some measure of profit taking for those who have been bullish. If you look at the low of the week, either on the DXY and the high of the week on the euro dollar, once you see those correlations, you can start asking yourself, because this is Wednesday, you can start asking yourself, has the high for the week been formed? If we're on the third day of the week, has the high for the week been formed? And if it's for the euro dollar, you can ask yourself, has the low of the week been formed? This is a good way for you to determine short-term sentiment when you are in the middle of the week. So today is a Wednesday, so that's a good question to ask. All right. So you look and say, oh, those who have been selling euro dollar throughout this week and have made about 200 pips, are they satisfied today being Wednesday? Those who have been buying the Dixie since the start of this new week, are they satisfied? So that's another way to know what can happen, especially when you are dealing with Wednesday and Thursday. Has the high of the week been formed? Has the low of the week been formed? All right. So that's a very great way to determine what the sentiment is, especially for those of you who take maybe 1 or 2 trades a week. All right. So thank you, CJ, for the analysis on the yen. Very concise. Thank you, Cynthia, also. If you have specific questions for me, I can take those questions. But just if there's anything you take away from this session for me, CJ, let's see the 4-hour of the USD. If there's anything you take from this session from me, is that low of the week, high of the week approach to trading. Has the low of the week been formed? Has the high of the week been formed? Those are very key questions that you can ask yourself. All right. So looking at the dollar index, okay, from the start of the week, the start of the trading week, that's it right there. So where we are right now, you can see price has gone all the way up. And today is a Wednesday. So you can ask yourself, that 101.06, is that going to be the highest price for the week? This type of question you ask it typically middle of the week. Is that going to be the highest price for the week? Has it printed its range for the week, right? That's a very important question, especially if you just want to catch the profit taking. So all the buys for the US dollar, all the buys all the way down there, if they are taking profit, is that a good place to just take a quick move as they are taking profit? Same thing for Euro USD. Let's see Euro USD. I'm talking about this because I came in on a Wednesday, and that's middle of the week. Same thing for Euro USD. You may want to ask yourself that same question. When the week started, all the way to the downside, have we hit the lowest point for the week? Have we hit the lowest point for the week? So that you know if today will be a quick scalp to the upside. Have we hit the low of the week? Because today is Wednesday. We have just Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So this is a good way, using time and price, to see if price will bounce up a bit if we have hit the low of the week. All right. So I sometimes do this Wednesdays, Thursdays, to just see if I can catch a quick move. Just a quick intraday move, and that's all. Knowing that if you have hit the weekly high, there will be profit taking. If you have hit the weekly low, there will be some measure of profit taking, and that can be a good way to grab your 30, 40, 50 pips, and you are done. So if this is truly the low of the week, then of course, you look at all the liquidity levels where it can target the fair value gap at 92, the other fair value gap at 130, and then the last fair value gap at 11800. So if exactly. So that's one. Then there's another one ahead of that. And there's another one ahead of that. So I'm just saying this, touching on this, because like I said, all other analysis, standard approach of analysis remains valid. But because today is a Wednesday, if you just come to your chart, you may want to ask yourself, okay, is this the lowest point for this week? If it is, you watch out for the price action, and then you see the moves you can take with good risk management. Another thing that can be a layer of some sort of confluence for you is the upside down box pattern. See the low formed on the 11th of September, which all the way to the 11th, thereabout of September. That's a low. That's a break of structure to the upside. This is like another layer of confluence. So the low was formed on the 11th of September, exactly. That low, which can also be some sort of sweep to the downside. So you can see that that's the shoulder. That's the shoulder, left shoulder. Upside down left shoulder. Exactly. There's another upside down left shoulder around the 2nd and the 2nd of September. There's another one there too. Exactly. So if that is the left shoulder, then this other one is the sweep of liquidity to the downside. So shoulder. Exactly. Then that's the sweep, upside down shoulder. That's the sweep. Then that's the break of structure to the upside. Exactly. So this is an upside down box pattern. Exactly. Break of structure to the upside all the way, forming a fair value gap. You can see the fair value gap. That's one. There's also another fair value gap there too. Just above it, there's also another fair value gap. Exactly, that's a fair value gap. Exactly. And there's also diagonal liquidity. You can zoom in a bit. Exactly. All that diagonal liquidity. Mind you, these are all weekly lows. Exactly. And a grab of all the weekly lows. So the low of last week, the low of the week before, you can see all of them there. They've been grabbed. So by the time you add this to my analysis where I'm saying, is this the low of this week? So if this truly is the lowest point this week, and it has cleared all of the diagonal liquidity and the lows of previous weeks, and it is in a fair value gap, which is also close to an upside down shoulder pattern, that now lends further confluence. Is this making sense to anybody? Lends further confluence to say, oh, price can tap into those fair value gaps above. So like I said, I was saying low of the week, high of the week, it doesn't mean we're leaving our standard approach, which is our shoulder patterns in line with the overall trend, in line with our order flow levels, our liquidity levels, is still the same thing. Okay, Moyo, sorry, thank you very much for that feedback. So that's what I'm saying. If this is the lowest point of Euro USD, we can have a quick move to the upside all the way to the upside. So it's still these principles. Like I say, try not to jump from one strategy to another, one approach to another. It doesn't help over time. It doesn't help over time. So if price goes all the way up into that fair value gap, into that other one, then we can now say, okay, it's time for a move to the downside. You can look at this on 15 minutes too. 15 minutes too. What am I looking for on 15 minutes? What am I looking for on 15 minutes? Still something similar to that. Let's zoom in a bit. Let's zoom in a bit. Let's zoom in a bit. Okay, now, for me now, the last thing I can use for like some sort of confluence, right, is box pattern failure. Box pattern failure. Remember I'm saying, oh, this may be a buy, right? So if this may be a buy, I want to see a box pattern that will be invalidated. So let's look at this very quickly. CJ, please, let's see the most recent. No, you can zoom in. So this is just for entry now. So I want to see a box pattern failure. I want to see a shoulder, and I want to see a sweep to the upside, and I want to see a break of structure to the downside that failed. So let me see a shoulder there. I think that's a shoulder on the first. What I'll choose as my most recent shoulder around 1.0800. Not upside down shoulder now, standard shoulder. Standard shoulder, not upside down. So this is a shoulder that is high. That 1.0800, let's draw a line there or a circle there, 1.10800. Exactly, that'll be my shoulder. That'll be my shoulder there. That's small, exactly. Where will be my sweep of that shoulder? You can make it a very small circle. That's a shoulder there. Yes. Where will be my sweep of that shoulder? That's the sweep of that shoulder. Where is the break of structure to the downside? Exactly. That's a break of structure to the downside. Where is my fair value gap or inverted fair value gap? There's no fair value gap there, but there's an inverted fair value gap, right? Exactly. Where is my inducement that should hold after the mitigation? That's an inducement. There's also a twin tower base there. Exactly. That's an inducement. So based on this is a box pattern. Now, if I want to take, remember I said I'm looking to buy. This box pattern must fail. Please extend that shoulder. Exactly. Extend. Exactly. Beautiful. Because this is a valid box pattern that should sell. So if this box pattern fails, that means we'll see price break all the way to the upside and clear it with a violent fair value gap. So if this box pattern fails to sell, then I know that now becomes my signal for a buy. I don't know if this makes sense to anybody. CJ, am I making sense or it's...
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, you are.
So for my entry now, I'm now saying if there's a box pattern failure, right? And I now see, so like now this green candle now as it's moving, let's see it on the 5 minutes. If I see a small red candle, so that's like base, exactly, beautiful. Beautiful. Now, do you see that that candle is red? You see, I said if I see a small red candle, so if I see buy, sell, buy, big buy, small red, and another big buy, that becomes my entry. So you can see now that it's looking like we may see that. You can see the small red candle. So if that small red candle now shows a strong buy after it that pushes up, I look for any fair value gap and I make my entry targeting those moves to the upside with a good risk to reward of 1:2 or 1:2.5. And that's my move for the day. I check if there's going to be any news release that can mess it up, and that's it. All right, so CG, over to you. So I hope I've just explained how I use box pattern and box pattern failure, low of the week, high of the week, since this is Wednesday, and then liquidity concepts to frame a possible setup for a buy. All right, guys, thank you so much. Over to you, CJ. Thanks for your patience. God bless.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for your insightful analysis as always. Everyone who has been on this call, thank you very much. Remember to apply proper risk management, and then also remember our bias on various currency pairs we've analyzed. If you missed out on anyone or you need more clarity, you can check it out on YouTube. The replay is available there as we speak, so you can watch it and get clearer insights on the things we've analyzed. Now, if you want to learn how we analyze the market like this and get in-depth understanding of our patterns and our various analysis strategies, you feel free to sign up for the FX Bootcamp course. You can send a message to us via WhatsApp on our WhatsApp line 081 6099 5030, and we'll get you registered and started immediately. Okay, until we meet again by 3 p.m. New York, Nigerian time, so that we'll have the London recap and the New York market color. Wish you good luck and good trading. Cheers and God bless, guys.